What's good, guys and gals? It's Keo, bringing you another MVS versus AES, giving you a little giga power. This time, we're jumping ahead a few years for some Metal Slug intel. Most of you won't need a briefing for this gorgeous game, but if you're unfamiliar or need a reminder, Metal Slug is an explosive running gun that rejected the three-dimensional hype of the 90s. Instead, perfecting the art of 2D sprites and how to present them, pushing the Neo Geo to its limits in the process, creating the most bombastic warfare of 1996. There were 6 Metal Slugs on Neo Geo, and most of them have major changes between their arcade and home console releases. Not Metal Slug 1 or 2 though. Metal Slug 1 only offers owners a barren options screen with the essentials plastered on some cool tank schematics. Although Metal Slug 2 expanded the options menu to feature more than just lives and difficulty, it wasn't until Metal Slug X that we saw options that fundamentally changed the way the game is played. Let me draw your attention to rebindable controls and Vulcan Picks, starting with custom controls. If you spent a little time on any Metal Slug game, you probably hit shoot and jump at the same time during heated dodges, only to jump out of your tank and rage with frustration as it hurls itself off a cliff. No more! You can assign it to the D button, which goes unused in 1 and 2. Or if you don't want to even contemplate Kamikazes, you can set the command to all 4 buttons at once and put it out of your mind forevermore. No more blowing speedruns because your fingers slipped. Which Mega Enterprise Korea must have liked too. They made D-Button Kamikaze the default for Metal Slug 4, arcade, and console. Better late than never. As for the rarely utilized Vulcan Picks, it allows you to hold down fire to lock your firing direction to wherever your tank's gun is pointed, obliterating several bosses with the power of pungent strafe cheese. I'm surprised this didn't become a standard feature until Metal Slug 6, which is so late it didn't even run on Neo Geo hardware. Although I can understand why from a game design perspective. These games were balanced around not being able to continuously pummel a boss when you had to dodge swarms of bullets. Metal Slug 6 has bosses that can't be trivialized thanks to a high amount of testing, finally making it suitable for an arcade environment. The last place anyone should be able to cheese bosses. Finally, there are a few oddities with blood effects in AES mode. In MVS mode, the blood can be turned on or off, allowing an arcade operator to display the game as intended or tone down the violence to make the game more suitable for squeamish environments. This is not the case in the home console versions. Blood is forced on if you play in Japanese, and forced off if you play in any other language. This was presumably done to avoid getting into controversies outside Japan, where they were perfectly fine with someone's face getting shot off in the free market. But video game violence was under a lot of scrutiny in the United States in 1996. SNK probably didn't want to take any chances, and thus forced it off if it's not set to Japanese. With that last piece of trivia told, this episode of MVS vs. AES is concluded. The Neo Geo CD versions of the Metal Slug games have even more differences. However, those are outside the scope of this project. What is within the scope of MVS vs. AES are the trivial differences, suggested by my fans. If you enjoyed the video, I'd like to hear your thoughts on making an extra video showcasing all the unique menu screens for difficulty and lives in one big compilation. They aren't much, but some of them, like Mutation Nation, are good to relax to. If not, I'll just immediately begin work on the next main episode. Until that time, peace forever.